Hi everybody, welcome to Christian Homestead. My name is Jared. A couple days ago, I came across this interesting article from Earth.com. Astronomers discover an interstellar tunnel that connects our solar system to others. Now, I don't know about you, but when I first saw this, it immediately made me think about Facsimile number 2 from the Book of Abraham. I've been a member of the church my entire life, and I must say that this fascinated me, especially when I was a kid, because it's one of the few places in the scriptures where you have like a picture to look at. But when you read through the explanation, you can tell that you're getting into something really deep. And you start to wonder, why is it that this has been revealed? Like, why do we have a need to know about it? What's the benefit? It essentially, I'm sure there's so much that could be said about it. I know that there has been so much said about it. I know that there's lots of other content creators, authors that have done really good work in talking about Facsimile 2. The thing that I think about is just simply the fact that there's an order to the universe, that God is a God of order. And it talks about this really interesting hierarchy of planets and stars, essentially star systems, and it talks about kind of like a connection between planets and stars through these different mediums. Now you see that I have highlights here. We're going to go over this in just a minute, but I want to read the article first because I was thinking, wow, has science potentially found this connection, these mediums between worlds? So this video is obviously going to be just pure speculation. Not even speculation, just, wondering, could these two things be related? Who knows? I don't have a way to prove that or not, but I just want to think about it a little bit. This article is by Eric Rawls. Space can surprise even those who spend their lives studying it. People often think of our solar system as just a few planets and a bunch of empty space. Yet, new observations suggest we have been living inside a hot, less dense region, and that there may even be a strange cosmic channel connecting us to distant stars. After years of careful mapping, a new analysis reveals what appears to be a channel of hot, low-density plasma stretching out from our solar system toward distant constellations. Now, before I continue, don't be turned off by, it's talking about, a channel of hot, low-density plasma. Let me just say this. Okay, so over here, Facsimile 2, there's part of it where it talks about light, and obviously low-density plasma is not the same thing as light, but there are parts over here that talk about power, and science is not complete. Last I checked, science is still going. We don't understand the universe perfectly. And so you may say, well, this is not a form of light. It's not a form of power. Well, we don't know exactly how things work, but this could be somehow part of the mechanisms of the universe, how God created this galaxy and all galaxies and stars and planets. This may be like a byproduct of some kind of process that we don't understand. So don't dismiss it right away, because a lot of people will be like, oh, well, we know what it is. It's low density plasma. That's we don't know everything. There are things that we can't detect. For example, there are metaphysical things that are beyond this world. For example, we have our spirits. Our spirits are made of matter, but they're described as being some type of refined matter. We don't know what that is. It's beyond what we're able to detect at the moment. But anyway, if you have something like this, some kind of channel or channels, a network between star systems, that might be something to think about. So, all right, let's continue. Astronomers from Pax Planck Institute recently confirmed it using data from the Rosetta instrument. Dr. L.L. Sala, lead researcher, and colleagues shared these findings in a paper published in the journal Astronomy and Astrophysics. For a long time, scientists have known that our solar system sits within a peculiar region of space called the local hot bubble. This area, estimated to be about 300 light years across, formed as a result of powerful stellar explosions called supernovas. And then it goes on to talk about that a little bit. And then later, puzzling cosmic channel. What stands out is the detection of a channel, or quote-unquote tunnel, that appears to stretch toward the Centaurus constellation. This feature seems to punch through the hot material, connecting our neighborhood to distant star systems. Another such pathway appears to link toward the vicinity of Canis Major. Data hints these might be just one part of a larger branching network of channels that run between star-forming regions and pockets of heated gas. Okay, so we just read a minute ago that our solar system is within a pocket of heated gas. The local hot bubble is what they called it. And so this is saying it may be between other similar pockets or between star-forming regions. So it's not saying that it's between all stars within the universe. So that's important to note. That's one reason why this idea may not really have a foundation. But at the same time, we don't have all the details over here either. This would imply that there is a connection, some kind of medium between all these planets and stars, but it is an assumption. It doesn't explicitly say every single planet and star are connected through a medium. Maybe it's referring to what is being observed, channels between pockets of heated gas and star-forming regions. Don't know. Or as time goes on and they're able to scan things better, maybe they will discover that there's channels between every single star system or something like that. Continuing, each route may... Oh, by the way, over on Daily Mail, it has this image, some kind of instrument compiled this image, and these areas right here, and I don't even really know what I'm looking at. I don't know if this is like from our point of view, if this is like a 360 image put onto a two-dimensional space. I don't know what this is, but this red area, this is the tunnel that's going to the one constellation, the first one that was mentioned, and then this blue one is the other. So as of right now, the most recent data, there are 2 of these tunnels that are detected. I'm guessing that this is from Earth's point of view, and so you're like looking through the tunnels. Obviously we need the experts' help to even know what we're looking at here. Looks like just a bunch of random, blotches of gray and white and black. But anyway, one right here going to one constellation or one star system, and then another one right here. Okay, ideas about a network of hot, low-density channels are not new. Decades ago, some researchers speculated that the space around us could hold labyrinths of connected cavities. But there was never enough data to be sure. Instruments like eROSITA have now provided that clarity. Okay, later on, while researchers have mapped parts of this hot region and uncovered these unusual passages, not every aspect is understood. Some star lines seem supported by a series of linked cavities. Other regions appear more blocked. The complexity of these patterns requires more sensitive data and further analysis. With time, better models may explain how these structures formed and how they continue to evolve. Later on, the fact that our sun now sits near the bubble, so our bubble, the local hot bubble, The fact that our sun now sits near the bubble's center is simply chance. Well, according to science. Again, on a spiritual level, we don't know what these are. I mean, it may not have to do with anything spiritual. It may not have anything to do with facsimile number 2. But when you have things like this in nature, where our solar system is near the center of this local hot bubble, I don't know. Looking at it from a spiritual point of view, maybe it's not chance. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's indicative of something bigger than what we know and understand. Okay, but the fact that our sun now sits near the bubble's center is simply chance, but it makes for an interesting perspective. It is as if we arrived late to a party, only to find a lingering aftermath of dramatic events that took place long before humans even existed. If you didn't catch it, they're saying that the reason why these bubbles exist is because these were the sites of supernova explosions, essentially. The discovery of these hidden routes and temperature differences offers a reminder that even our own cosmic backyard holds surprises. These channels challenge old assumptions and add complexity to the picture of what lies between our sun and the nearest stars. Now, I was tempted to add this to my new spreadsheet where I want to keep track of every time that a new discovery is made that upends the old understanding of things, because there's so many people that put so much faith in science and what's currently known, but then things come along and then it's like, oh, we had it wrong. We're gonna have to go back to the drawing boards, or it's not how we thought, or if you would have asked me a week ago as a scientist, I would have said that this is impossible, but here it is, we're detecting it. I've come across that so many times, and I think it's important to collect those instances, not because we shouldn't be doing science. Like, these people are doing good work, but we also have to be careful when we think that we know everything. And sometimes people get in that frame of mind. So, okay, let's go over to Facsimile 2. And let's read what it says here and consider this compared to what we just read. Okay, figure 1. So I got the zoomed in version over here. Okay, so right in the center, you have this figure that has like the two faces, facing each way. But there's this figure right here, figure number 1, Kolob, signifying the first creation, nearest to the celestial or the residence of God. First in government, the last pertaining to the measurement of time. Okay, figure number 2. That is this one up here above Kolob, and it also has 2 faces pointing each direction. Stands next to Kolob, called by the Egyptians Oliblish, which is the next grand governing creation near to the celestial or the place where God resides, holding the key of power also. Okay, so here we start to get a taste of like this like power when it comes to stars, planets, star systems. Holding the key of power also pertaining to other planets, as revealed from God to Abraham as he offered sacrifice upon an altar which he had built unto the Lord. Now, let me also say, and I don't know if there's anywhere where you can find out more about this power, the key of power that's being referred to. I don't know if this is just referring to simply priesthood power, like spiritual things, like authority, or if this is talking about a more physical power that, of course, is wielded by the priesthood, but like a natural power. I don't know. I don't know if like this world, Oliblish, if this is like, the celestial hierarchy of priesthood beyond this planet, and it's talking about that kind of power, or if it's talking about a natural phenomenon that's controlled by priesthood power. Oh my gosh, priesthood power. Okay. Number 5. Let's go back here. So we have Kolob, we have Oliblish up here, and the number 5 is below Kolob, and it looks like this ox or cow. I know that Jasmine Rapley did a video about this not too long ago, and I thought she did a pretty good job talking about this. Okay. She's into like apologetics. I don't care to step into that world, but you have critics of the church are like, no, this whole thing right here is not at all what Joseph Smith said that it was, and blah blah blah. Well, there's people that have done really good work on this, including Jasmine. So you might want to check that out if you have questions. But okay, so we're looking at this ox right here. Figure 5 is called in Egyptian Enish Go-Ondash, which is one of the governing planets also, and is said by the Egyptians to be the sun, with uppercase S. Before I continue, this particular paragraph right here, I feel like is a little bit ambiguous. I don't know if it's just like super clear to you or not, but this first part, is it saying that this is a planet? The Egyptians call it the sun, just as a side note. Like, are we to trust what the Egyptians call it, or is it, I don't know. I've noticed, I can't like show you right now, but I feel like a number of times the words sun or star and planet seem to have been interchangeable in some quotes that we have. Like, I think that there are some from Brigham Young where he's talking about our sun, our local star, and talking about it as though it's a planet. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't know exactly what's going on here, if Enish Go-Ondash is our sun or what, but okay. And is said by the Egyptians to be the sun, and to borrow its light from Kolob through the medium of Ka Venrash, which is the grand key, or in other words, the governing power, which governs 15 other fixed planets or stars, also including Floeis, or the moon, the earth, and the sun in their annual revolutions. Okay, so light coming from Kolob to Enish Go-Ondash, which the Egyptians say is the sun, and this light that comes through the medium of Ka Venrash is the grand key that governs 15 other fixed planets and stars, including the moon, the earth, and the sun. So if we go to the picture, so we have light coming from Kolob to this. I forgot the name. Enish Go-Ondash, the sun, and then this light and power and grand key also governing 15 other planets and stars. Which actually, I'm now for the first time in my life wondering, are there 15 of these figures here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, close. It looks like some of these other things are actually separate. Okay, who cares? Okay, so, okay, and then it continues. This planet, which I can only assume is referring to the same Enish Go-Ondash that we've been talking about. This planet receives its power through the medium of Kli Flos Is Es, or Ha Kokabim. I've pointed out before in previous videos that in Hebrew, Ha Kokabim is simply the stars. If you were to translate that, it's the stars. Ha is the, Kokabim, you have the I-M. In this case, it's spelled E-A-M, but it's, whenever you have a O-T or I-M at the end of a Hebrew word, that means that the word is plural, and there's a masculine and a feminine. So this means the stars, okay? This planet receives its power through the medium of the stars. And maybe that's what this means in Egyptian, Clef Flossus S. But, okay, so if I'm understanding this correctly, Inish Go Ondash, the planet of figure 5, it receives its light from Kolob through this medium, K.A. Van Rash, and then it receives power. So it seems like something else is going on here. You have light and power through the medium of Clef Flossus S or Ha Kokabim. The stars represented by numbers 22 and 23 receive light from the revolutions of Kolob. So, it talks about the fact that, okay, wait, let me go back here. So it talks about the fact that light goes from Kolob to Inish Go Ondash, and then it seems to imply that from there, the light goes to the other 15 fixed planets or stars. So it's like Kolob, Inish Go Ondash, and then out to the other worlds, almost like a manifold. And then it talks about power coming from Kolob, right? Yeah, power. This planet receives its power through the medium. Well, it doesn't say it comes from Kolob per se, but I think that's implied. Okay, so you get what I'm saying. There's some... Sorry, these are sacred things, but we clearly don't understand them. You have some kind of network. You have some kind of hierarchy. You have at least two different mediums, mediums that are mentioned. This medium has to do with power. This medium has to do with light. Was there another one up here? I can't even remember. No. Two mediums, multiple planets, everything flowing from Kolob. So is this what scientists are detecting? Are they detecting in some way, either directly or indirectly, either the actual thing or a byproduct? Are they detecting these mediums that connect worlds? I don't know. Are they right that these hot bubbles, the local hot bubble and other cavities are the result of supernova? Or is it something else? And we're just making assumptions, really good assumptions, and coming up with really good theories, but have these things actually been observed? I want to say that there have been some supernova that have been observed. Let's see. Have there been any supernova observations? Let's see what it says really. Yes, there have been numerous supernova observations throughout history, but in our own galaxy, the Milky Way, and in other galaxies. While no supernova has been observed in the Milky Way since the invention of the telescope, there have been many recorded observations of supernova or supernovae in other galaxies, in historical records of supernovae that were visible to the naked eye. So, anyway, I think that we can just leave it at that. It's just something interesting to think about. Maybe in the future with further mapping and observations, maybe better equipment, maybe we'll know more. But even then, I don't know that we'd be able to equate that with this, but I don't know. Maybe it's a candidate. It's something to think about. It's going to be great to understand more fully the importance of all this information. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the millennium we do have a better understanding and more is revealed. I don't know if at that point in the millennium, if we would be able to have more, if we'd be able to have contact with these other worlds, these other planets, or if that's something that's reserved for after the Earth is celestialized. Maybe it's not permitted during mortality and during probation. I don't know. So many questions. It's so interesting to think about. But anyway, that's all that I have for this one. So I'll talk to you guys later.